Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's been a little while since I've done a live stream, so it's nice to be back, and I'm glad to see we've already got loads of people here, which is great as per usual. And yeah, today we're going to be doing some netting stitch with crystal bugle beads. So this little design that we're going to be making, it's really simple. There's two different ways I'm going to show it to you so that you can either do it with one single color or you can do it with two different colors. It's up to you which way you want to do it. But essentially, we're going to go through the whole process. I'll show you how to put the clasp on, and it's quite a quick little one to make. So I don't think it'll take me too long. I wouldn't be surprised if we managed to do the whole thing. But the thing is that once I guess we'll make like a bit of a hybrid version where I show both the single and the double in one. So maybe I'll make it like a mini piece. But anyway, it's going to be lots of fun. I see that we've got plenty of people here, which is great, as per usual. Let's see. Who have we got? We have David, who says he's watching the Paralympic archery, which is very cool. I tell you, I watched so much of the Olympics, and I'm looking forward to watching lots of the Paralympics too. Did you guys manage to catch too much of it? I mean, that's how long it's been since my last live stream. It was just before the Olympics started, so quite some time. But anyway, yeah, Carol's here. We have Robin, Dawn, Pamela as well. But yeah, don't forget, just keep bringing in those comments. If you're on Facebook, pop me in a comment. If you're on YouTube, because we're on live on both, feel free to just comment in, say hello, and maybe I'll give you a little shout out, which will be fun. But yeah, as I said, I'll show you the design that we're going to be making today. Let's just pop that one on the screen here. It's this lovely netted design here, which just looks so spectacular. It's really fantastic. I'll show you the difference. This one is made with thread, and this one is made with monofilament, which I'll be using during the tutorial. So I'll show you the difference between the two, essentially, but we're going to be using monofilament because I think it gives a much better sort of tension overall, and so that when it's sitting, you get a much better sort of netted shape happening. But if you prefer it looking a little thinner, then maybe the thread version is the one to go for you. So if you're the sort of person who stacks bracelets, wears multiple together simultaneously, maybe using thread is the better option, just because you can wear several at the same time. And because the kit which we have, if you want to check out the links in the description, it's just down below. The kit makes two bracelets, so you can either do two single ones. So for example, one kit is the blue and the silver, so you can make a whole blue one and a whole silver one, or you can make one which is blue on the outside with silver down the middle, and then one which is silver on the outside with blue down the middle. Essentially, those are your two options. Each of the kits is that choice. But yeah, whether you prefer it to be sort of wider or whether you prefer it to be thinner, you can determine based on if you use thread or monofilament. So thread, obviously, you would be well aware of what thread is. That's just, this sort of standard beading thread that I always use, which is Spider. But today, I'm going to be using a clear monofilament, which is this stuff just here, which it's like one single piece of like a almost plasticky sort of thread that has a much firmer sort of feel about it. So it's not as soft in terms of drape, but because of that, it is much better for keeping a firmer structure, as it were. Now, I'll just, because as I requested, anyone who is brand new, we have Emily here. She says, good morning, first time here. So Emily, I assume you're in the US because you'll say good morning. Robin, I know, is in Australia. David is here in the UK with me. Where is everyone else from? You can tell that I've been a bit ill, hence why I've been coughing quite a bit during the stream so far. So I'll try and not cough too much if I can. But anyway, just bear with me. So anyway, in terms of this gorgeous design, first thing that we're going to do is attach our little clasp section. So I've used this little magnetic clasp that I really like. They have these sort of like little dimples on them. It's like marquisite, if you've seen that before, which just looks lovely. There's like a black, a gold, a bright silver, a rose gold sort of one. So I'm going to be using the rose gold color one today, but I think it just gives it a nice little touch. So we're going to add the clasp first. Then once we've done the clasp, I'll show you how we do that stitch. It is a really, really easy stitch. It comes together very, very quickly. This is like one of those designs that you can fully complete in like half an hour, 45 minutes, so that if you need to wear something, you can just whack it out. You can use whatever beads that you like, but I am using the crystal bugle beads just because I think that if you look at them really closely, you can see, wait, let's take them out of the bag. You can see they have this gorgeous faceting on them. So each little bead has these beautiful flat surfaces cut into them, which makes them really, really sparkly. If you want to get some of these, you can grab them from our website. We've got plenty of different colors there as well. So yeah, go feel free to check those out. But anyway, let's add on our clasp. So this one is the one I'm going to use today. So because it just splits in half, there's your little magnets. We only need one side at a time. So I'll just keep this one here. And essentially what we are going to do, David says, I need a cup of tea. You're absolutely right, but I don't have one here. I forgot to make myself one. Doesn't matter. I should have even brought myself a glass of water. Didn't do it. Doesn't matter. So anyway, we're going to add on our little clasp to begin with. So you can see it has like a nice little hole just here, which we can pass our thread through. The great thing about this monofilament, because it is quite firm, if you wanted to, you could very easily just thread directly through the beads with the monofilament without having to use a needle. So it's something that you can definitely do if you don't have a needle, because this particular monofilament, it's quite thick. And so the needle, what you have to do if you want to get the needle on, you almost have to like bite the tip, which I have done on this end. Let's see if we can see it. See, I've got it here on the needle. You can just sort of bite the end. Let's see how close we can get. And that sort of just flattens it out. See how it's sort of like flatter just there? That allows you to get it onto your thread at first. And then once you have it on, it'll just slide through quite a bit easier. But that is something to note. So you can do it with a needle, or you don't have to use a needle. This will do just fine without a needle. And to prove it, I'm going to do it without a needle to begin with. And if I have to just take the needle off, you know, we'll see. Because sometimes it's just easier to not use a needle. So anyway, we're going to add on this first little shape here at the beginning. So see how it's got like one little bead. It's almost like a triangle shape, one bead at the top, and then we have two little crystals and two seed beads, our clasp, and two seed beads here as well. So this is how we'll sort of begin making this structure, and then this little one above it. And then once we have these first couple of squares, this little section just here made, we can then just continue on, and it's really, really, really simple. So first things first, let's grab ourselves some of our little seed beads. So I'll start with one of my little pieces here that we're going to be working with. We're going to need two of our seed beads. I'll zoom in. We don't need to be so far away. There we go. We've got two seed beads. One of these little bugle pieces will go through the top of our clasp, like so. If it will pass, there we go. Of course, I just got to slide them down. And then I'll grab two more seed beads, 1 and 2, and just pop those down. Plus one more little bugle. And because the monofilament is quite thick, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this next part here, which Here we are. If you slide this down towards the end of your work, to the end of your thread, you need about 1.5 meters, by the way, to do the whole thing. Bring it down towards the end. We only need to leave a relatively small tail like this just here. And I'll pick up one last seed bead just here. And I'm going to slide that one down as well. And I'm going to tie these two threads to each other so that I can sort of continue working and get rid of it all and not have to worry about that little tail. So once you're near the end, I'll zoom out just a tiny bit more so we can see a bit better what I'm doing. Hi to Omi from New York and Juliana, who says, hi everyone from Great Britain. She's from Gloucestershire, me too, on a very sunny day. Well, I'm glad you could be here. Which part of Gloucestershire are you in? Because I'm near Cheltenham. So Juliana, if you're still there, let me know where you are. So anyway, we're going to just do like a normal sort of leftover right knot to begin with, just to get it a little firm. And you can see that's going to bring it nicely into that sort of shape just there. And I'll tie it once again, just left over right, and I'll pull it tight in this little space just here to get that tight. And that's going to lock that nicely into position here. And that knot is going to be very, very secure. You can do it a third time if you want to, which maybe I will, just to be extra safe. Better safe than sorry, as they say. Do that like that. And then you can do this now, or you can do it later. I'm going to just take this down through that little bead. See, look, you don't need a needle or anything. And if you want to take it through, just through that little bead. And if it goes through one of the seed beads, fine, don't worry about it. Pull that through, and then you can sort of just cut that little bit off. But I'll leave it for now. I can even tie like a little overhand knot just here. If you don't know what those are, we're going to essentially tie the knot between those two seed beads. So you can go under like so. This is just like an extra little security knot just in case. Go through there, pull that tight, and if you have a look, that'll just slip in between those two little seed beads. That one's my little security knot, and then you can pass through a couple more little seed beads there, and through the clasp, and then I can just cut this little bit off, and we don't have to worry about it getting in our way or anything like that. And where have I put my scissors? Oh, here they are. I was about to give up and say, well, okay, I don't have the scissors. They've disappeared on me. But no, let's just grab that there and snip that as close as we can to the beads. There you go. We don't need that tail bit. That's going to be pretty secure now. If you have a lighter, you can always like melt that a little bit, very, very gently, and it will sort of firm up into a bit of a plastic blob. Or you can even use like a bit of super glue. Sorry, my brain was, I was looking at it because I had it on the table just before and I was like, where is it gone? What is that stuff? Super glue. So anyway, now we're going to create that next little square shape just above. So that little piece just here is coming out of this seed bead. We've got one little bugle, a seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle. And that's going to make like a nice little square shape like that there. So if we just pass from this bead and we pick up some little bugles and stuff. I didn't take them off my thread. I'm doing it in one color to start with. I will show you how you can change it into 2-color. You could probably even do little patterns if you wanted to, which would be very fun. Like if you wanted to do, see how I've done it with like one stripe down the middle, you could probably do them in like little sections like this if you wanted to. I don't know. It's worth experimenting and playing with. It's a fun little design for that purpose. So anyway, let's go through one crystal, which we can just Pull that through here. This part here at the beginning might be a little easier without the needle, so we'll find out in just a second, just because I have to pass through this. This is one of the only places where you need to pass through the bugles more than once, and because of the needle holding them like two threads, it might be a little thick to get through with a third, so I'm going to just maybe have to take the needle off to go through that one again. So we'll go through here, pick up a seed bead and another bugle, one more little seed bead, which is going to become the sort of the top of this little square shape here. Then we'll pick up one more bugle and slide that one down, pick up one seed bead, slide that one down, and one fourth little bugle just here. These are 2.5 millimeter wide by 5 or 4 mil, possibly, I think, if I remember correctly, in length. You can get them in other sizes, but at the minute we only stock the one. So if we have a look, this is that little bead at the top of our section that we made just here. If we want to just loop around, we can pass through this seed bead. Hopefully it will go through with the needle. Yes, it does. There we go. And as you pull that through, it's going to create that nice little square shape right at the top of our work. Now, this is the point at which I need to just check whether or not the needle will go through the bead once more, because technically there'll be 3 threads going through it. It might be a little thick. If that's the case, instead of pulling that through, just take the needle off for a few seconds, which is just here. Should just come off fairly easily. Just give it a bit of a pull. That'll come right back off, which, oops, I bent my needle a little. Doesn't matter. There we go. Pull that through there. And I can just go, trying to keep it nice and firm just here. And we want to go up through the first bugle, just here. Which I might have to chop off the bit that I bit to make it flat because it's not quite as firm. There we go. That goes through. See, look, if you take the needle off, it'll go through just because it's that one little bit thinner. But after that, you can put your needle back on and it will work just nicely. So we want to exit from this seed bead just here. And then as we pull that through, hopefully this little bit, there we go, get that through there, pull that nice and tight. And now let me just grab my needle. I bent it a bit accidentally, so I'll just give it a straighten with my wire straighteners. That will hopefully work. I might need to use my pliers to hold it. This is always a bit of fun. Midstream, when you're doing a live, why not why not accidentally bend your needle? That's a great start, isn't it? So anyway, there we go. Just get that nice and straight. That's coming straighter now. Great, that'll do. Okay, so now let's just put this back on. As I said, if you want to get it on, you can do this after you've reached this point. You can put the needle on. So if you want to just bite the tip of it with your tooth, it just flattens that little piece and then it will go through far, far easier through the eye of your needle, which if you also have a pair of pliers to hand, it also helps because then once you've got it through, just that little thin bit, you can just pull that through like that with your pliers and back to somewhere about here, which is fine. So once we're at this point, we can now start doing our netting stitch, which this is a very, very simple, quick and easy netting stitch that we're going to do, where essentially every single time, if you imagine we're exiting from, this is our little group, we're exiting from this bead here, we're going to pick up a bugle, a seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle, and then go through this little one over here. So see how we were exiting this one, it's the next seed bead along. Then when we're exiting from this one, we're going to go bugle, seed bead, bugle, and we'll pass through the one that's the next one along up. So we're kind of just going to be going do this bead, then this one, then this one, then this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, all the way along to add those little beads. So let's do it in practice now. So I'll do it in one color to start with, and then I'll show you how you can change your colors to make it a little bit different. So if you try and keep your tension nice and firm, you will get a much cleaner, neater, sharper sort of netting square shape. If you want it to be a little bit more flexible, you can do it a little bit looser. So that's the sort of the trade-off between choosing the firmness or the drape. That's the sort of the trade-off with having to use a monofilament. So as I said, we're going to pick up one little bugle bead, one size. I'm using size 10 Preciosa seed beads. You can use size 11 of your Japanese ones. You can use whatever brand you like. It's up to you. It's sort of your own preference. It's not too important. Tohos will work. Mayukis, as I said, whatever you want. So anyway, now let's go one more. And another seed bead. Which, if you find that because of the thickness of the thread, doing it with a needle can be more difficult. If you find it easier to just do it without the needle, then just do it with your fingers. It literally goes through because it's quite firm. It's a bit like tiger tail. You don't need to use a needle for tiger tail. So anyway, you can see we've got a bugle, a seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle. And we're going to just loop along, see if we continue now. We're going to go to the next seed bead at the top of our square. And as you go through there, that's going to just lock a little square onto the end of your work there. See? So now let's add on another one. And as I said, you can have a go making different patterns if you wanted to. I reckon that would be a fun experiment. Like maybe do like one square in another color and then have a bit of spacing. I don't know. It'd be fun to see what you come up with. But anyway, I'll do this in this next color. So there you go. We want a bugle, a seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle. Thread them on down, which can be a little bit stiff over the end of your needle. Slide that down to the end. And once again, the very, very tip of our work, we're going to go through that endmost little seed bead and just tug that. And before you fully tight, see how when you've done this, it makes this section just a little bit looser. If you pull on this just here and then pinch that final square in your fingers, it keeps it firm so that when you lock that in, it will sit much better. And if you have a look now, you can see we'll create our next square. It'll sit a bit better in a second. But anyway, there's our next square just there. So now, if you want to just make sure it's nice and firm, you can flip it over and hold the new square. And at this point, we're going to go through this next little bead on the tip here. So again, we'll pick up one bugle. I told you it's really easy, isn't it? One bugle, one seed bead, a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle. Like so. I'll pop it down for a second just so I can slide these beads over. There we go. And if we have a look, this is our endmost little bead just here. If we pull everything tight, pinch the little beads into place, you can then go through that little seed bead right at the top. If it gets a little loose, don't worry, we'll tighten it afterwards. Pull tight, and everything will go much, much firmer. That one that wasn't sitting so nicely square, look at that. It's lovely and square now. This one looks a little wonky, but when we go through it again, it will firm up and go nice and square. So I'll do one last one, and then I'll show you how you can do it with the two colors so that you get that nice outer edging looking all lovely and good. So once again, because I'm going to do it 3 the same color, We're going to now... What do we think of this just as the single color, by the way? I think it's quite nice on its own, this one. I think the two would look very lovely together. Anyway, so once we've done this, we're going to go one bugle, exactly the same, one seed bead, one bugle, one seed bead, and one bugle. There they are. Slide them on down exactly as before. And then just as you saw me do before, see, that's the tip of the next one that we're going to go into. See how it creates this sort of zigzag down the center? We're going to go through that little seed bead right there on the tip. And here it is here. So is this not the easiest thing you've ever seen? It's such a simple little design, isn't it? Really, really good. As I said, you can use all sorts of different beads if you want to. Look how nice and square that little one has gone now that I've pulled it through. And now I'll show you how we can do it with the multiple colors. Oops, just knocked my thing here. So I'm going to grab my second color now. And I'll make like a zigzag down the center in... Welcome back, David. He's just grabbed himself a cup of tea. I need one of those, I tell you. Juliana's got a... No, she wants to get some ginger tea. Ah, David's made a ginger tea. Oh, okay. Very good. I like the sound of that. I tell you, I need those. I went to a ginger farm when I was in Australia over Christmas, and Maxine bought some nice ginger tea, and we got all sorts of ginger stuff. I tell you, it was like so good. My favorite was the dark chocolate dipped ginger. Anyway, little anecdote there. So now let's continue, and I'll show you now how you can do it with two colors. So essentially, see how we've got this sort of central zigzag down the middle? I want that to be one color, and then these edge ones will be our second color. So it's really, really, really simple to do. It's almost identical to what we were doing. We're going to go bugle, seed bead, bugle. But this time, the outer color are the first two you pick up, and the inner color is the third one. So I'm going to go with these ones on the outside, I think. So we'll go 1 and 2 of that one. Then I'll pick up one more seed bead and the alternate color, little one there, which I really like how, even though these are matte beads, they're sort of like alabastery, they're still really, really sparkly. It's the nice thing about these ones. They're quite, I'll show you them on the string, just so you can get a slightly better idea. They're a really, really soft color because they're sort of like alabastery. I really like these ones, which if you're interested, it is this color. No, this one here. Opaque Golden Luster. Number 7, apparently. So there you go. So if we have that now, we're going to just do the exact same process where we go through this next bead. So I'll slide these down, pull it all nice and firm, pinch everything in place, pass through that bead, and pull tight. And then, as you see, the outer ones are our whichever color, and then the inner one, that inner zigzag, is our new color. So now we're going to just do the exact same thing again. So now if we pick up the same outer color plus a seed bead, a second of the outer color, another seed bead, and our inner color, just slide them on down, and it's literally the exact same process every single time, which is what I like. This is my favorite thing about when you're doing jewelry making projects, when it's a sort of a stitch that you just keep going and going. And once you've learnt the stitch, you just repeat until you reach your desired bracelet length. So I'm not going to go for like too long, because otherwise, you'll just be sitting here going, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. I've seen this one before, a bit like, watching too many episodes of Grey's Anatomy or something. You've kind of got the gist of what's going to happen already long before the episode is even halfway through. So let's just do maybe 2 more iterations. So again, we pick our 2 outer color first, then our inner color, and through there, and pull it tight, like so. Turn it over, and I'll go the outer color, 2 of them, and then 1 of our inner color, and then through that endmost little seed bead, pull it all tight, and you can see, look, there it is. It's coming together now with that gorgeous stripe right down the center. So maybe one last one, eh? What do we think? And then I'll show you how to do clasp. So it is very, very quick and simple, this one, which is just the way I like it. So there you go. You can see it's creating that zigzag down the center, which in a more extended form, which this one, like I said, this one was done with thread, so it's much, much thinner. But there's that same sort of shape happening down the middle, or better yet, I can even show you with the exact same color we've been doing, where you can have one which has the magenta through the middle, and then one which has the magenta through the outside. So the color's a little bit harsh for some reason. It looks much, much nicer. I wonder if I hold it up here, if it looks as good. Let's see. You can see the color a bit better, I think, here. My bright lights are sort of making it look a little bit washed out underneath. So anyway, you can see there, that's what that looks like there. Come on, get on focus, my friend. Look at that. And the other one looks like this sort of thing. Hopefully. Oh, no, I can't show you that one. The green screen is making the beads disappear. How fun. But then here's the silver one. Or it's pewter, actually. It's a slightly darker than just silver. And then this one is the midnight blue, which, of course, we have the 3 different kits, which I'll tell you about those in just a minute. Christine says, have you ever made a beaded collar? That would work very, very easily, I think. A very nice idea. By the way, you could probably also do this as a bangle with elastic. Just saying, something to think about. You might want to choose slightly different beads because the crystals might be a little bit sharp on the edges of your elastic, but I reckon you could very easily do this with elastic as well. Fun. That's a good thought. Okay, so now I'll do one last little square, and then I'll add on my final little thing just here, which basically what we're going to have to do is sort of go around the houses a bit to get ourselves coming out of that last bead. So first things first, I'll go 1 and a seed bead, 2. I mean, it doesn't matter when you end. You can literally just finish when you get to the point where you're like, yep, this is going to be about my size, taking into account the size of your wrist. But at this point, this is probably another point where you'll want to take the thread off, the needle off, and just work with it like this, because you've got to kind of go around a little bit until you sort of reach this little bead here. So it can be a little bit difficult. There's 2 different ways. One, you can either weave through here and then sorry, you can weave through here, then through here, and through here, and then just go across there, directly across, and up there, and then along to here. Or you can do, which what I'm going to do, because I'm a lazy, lazy poo, is just do another one of our little knots, which essentially, if you pull all of your work nice and tight, like so, you can even just do it where this seed bead is, or you could go through here and, you know, whatever. It's up to you. But just go through there. We'll do a blanket stitch knot, and that's going to allow us to just sort of turn straight around and go back the way we were coming. So if you just go through there, hopefully it's going to behave. And is that going to give me a knot? No, it isn't, because I didn't go through it, because I'm silly. And then we just pull through. No, I did go through, and now I've undone it. How silly. So let's just do that once again. Let's go underneath and not go and undo my knot again. So go through there just the once. And as you pull that tight, it will slip into that gap. One single knot is enough. You don't need more. That will lock that in place. And now I can just go back through this little seed bead, which hopefully my needle will behave. Otherwise, I'll have to take him off. No, that one's fine. But I think I'll have to take it off for this little bead just here, just to be extra sure. So I will take it off. Try not to rebend it again. Actually, I'll test it. Test it once more, because we want to be exiting from this little tip bead. You're going to go through there? Yes! I had luck. Clearly, these ones have a fractionally larger hole, maybe. So through there, and then when we're coming out of this little tip, just here, we're going to do the same process that we did before, where we create this sort of little triangle shape right on the end. So we're going to go bugle, two seed beads, the clasp, 2 seed beads, a bugle, and back through that seed bead again, which probably I'll have to disconnect it, I think, this time with the needle. So let's do it. I'm going to just do it in the other color this time because I got them handy. 1 bugle and 2 seed beads, followed by our clasp, which this is clearly just a very mini little piece just here. This is a nice quick tutorial, isn't it? As I told you, it wouldn't take long to make this little fella. So through there. And back through this seed bead one last time, which hopefully it will just pull through. Yes. Yes, it will. There we go. And pull that tight. And now essentially we can just do a couple of those little weaver's knots. So under the loop here, and create that little loop there, and then just go straight through it. And just try and adjust it to be in that little gap. Pull everything tight. And there's that knot. Then we can go through this bead, which will it go through without? Yes, very good. Through there. Do another little weaver's knot. In fact, I might even do 2 weaver's knots on the same point, just to make sure this one is extra secure, which you can also use that little dab of super glue, of course, if you wanted to. There we go. And then I'll go through a few beads just here. And why not? We'll go through the 1 more seed bead. Pull tight. Actually, let's go through the next seed bead too. And grab your scissors and just snip that off. And then there you go. You have your beautiful finished little bracelet there, which obviously you would make it larger than this. But yeah, like I said, you can see the handy thing is, because it's with the monofilament as well, even though the monofilament is not elasticated, this does just have that light bit of stretch on it. So if you make it just a tiny bit too small, when you go to put it on, it will just sort of stretch a little bit if it needs to. If it doesn't, then it'll be fine. And then there's that sort of gist looking like that just there. There is another thing you can do, which you would need to buy an extra strand of your preferred color, but you can also add on an extra row if you wanted to of more squares just by doing like a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle, a seed bead, and a bugle, and you just run all the way down the edge there. Or you could do it, you know, like full squares in one go. It's up to you how you want to do it, but you can add extra rows if you wanted to make it even wider. It's a very, very simple process. It's a form of chevron netting stitch. So there you go. That is literally the entire process to make your own version of this gorgeous little bracelet just here, which if I show you on the website, which I just realized I don't know if I set that up properly. Give me 4 seconds. There we go. And if we just pop over to the Bead Spider website right now, you can see, that's in the way. I don't want that. Which, oh yeah, I should mention this. If you sign up to our Bead Spider email newsletter, you get a £5 voucher if you're brand new for any of our beading patterns, which if you want to see our entire range of patterns, you can check them out just here. Just put your email address in there, say, give me patterns, and as soon as you click that button, you'll be emailed with a nice little code. There's also a link in the description to do more or less the exact same thing. We'll email you with a unique code for you, which as long as you've got £5, which you can change the currency, but it's the equivalent of a £5 voucher, which most of our patterns are about £5. You can choose your currency up here if you didn't know. You can get the patterns for free. Anyway, if we come and have a look just here, this is the kit that we have been making. There are 3 different colors, and we are doing a 15% off introductory sale, even though this kit is completely brand new. If you want to go and grab it for free, not for free, for 15% off, just click on this big button here. Otherwise, you can also scroll down here. There are links in the description as well. So if you are on Facebook, the description is up above. If you're on YouTube, it is down below. I'm also going to stick it in the comments as well to make it extra easy. You can see the previous 3 videos as well. These were all pre-records that we've done, which you might want to check out over the last few weeks if you've missed them while I was away. But anyway, if you can click on here or you can click here, it doesn't matter which. Click view all 3 colors. Fabulous. Once you click on that, hopefully, there we go. Which if you need to rewind and watch this video back, you can do. You just have to scroll up a little if you want to watch the video. It's just there above. But anyway, the kit itself, if you want to get the Cosmic Night, which is that nice pewtery dark silver color, and the electric blue, the Cosmic Night kit, £12.95, makes 2 bracelets, which you can change it into euros or US dollars, but it'll probably just be whatever your automatic currency is. It will detect it right there for you easily enough. If you like the Magenta Dream, which is the one I've just been demonstrating, here is that one just there. If you like this greeny, tealy, bluey one just here as well, that's the Mermaid's Lagoon. But if you want to go and grab yourself a nice little discount, view all 3 kits, 15% off, add that to your basket, you'll get one of these, and one of these, and you will get a lovely 15% discount, which in this case works out almost about £6. Almost. So yeah, if you have a look as well, you can scroll down. I need to zoom out just a tiny bit. There we go. Scroll down. We got plenty of other colors that you can check out just here as well. We got seed beads, which you can go and grab. The clasps are here, but otherwise, just scroll all the way to the bottom. If you want to see all the different crystal bugles, click that button. If you want to see all of our Preciosa size 10s, click that button. If you want to see all of our magnetic clasps, click that button. Anyway, that pretty much covers that. One last thing, which I will show you, because you only have until... So this kit, the Avenus, you have until next Sunday. But this Sunday, if you want to go and try out making some bead braided bracelets, which there's a brand new pre-record video just here. I think it goes for about 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. It shows you 2 different methods on how to make these bead braided bracelets. And the related kits, there are, or at least there were, I think maybe 1 or 2 has gone out of stock, sorry. If you click on that view all 10 options, you can view them individually. There's the English Countryside Holiday Bracelet, the Blue Seas Holiday, the Emerald Ocean, and the Alpine Holiday. And then we also have the Venus Bracelet, which is with crystals and pearls, which is this one here. There's the Purple Passion, the Shell Pink, the Blue Goddess, which is lovely, the Midnight, and the Champagne Shimmer. We also have, by the way, I should mention, free pattern for a Kumihimo disc template. If you've never done Kumihimo, you can get the disc. Otherwise, you can make your own with a bit of cardboard or something. Obviously, having the true disc is better, but if you don't have it, it's fine. Anyway, if you want to get your 20% off discount, because you can see these are all 10% off, if you come across here where it says double discount, 20% off, select your options, click on this big button here, and instead of 10% off, you get 20% off. So hopefully that is loading. Yes, there you go. So look, just £6.80 per bracelet. So if you like the Shell Pink Venus bracelet, have one of them. The Marrakesh Gold, out of stock, unfortunately. No more of those. The Champagne Shimmer, if you want one of those. Or maybe you like the Emerald Ocean Holiday. You can get one of each. And then go, do you know what? I think I'll get a black and white one because that goes with everything. If you have a look, as soon as you add, it says please choose at least 3. Once you've added your third item, it goes, okay, add it to your basket. And instead of being $8.50, £6.80, £6.80, £6.80, change it into US dollars if you want to, whatever currency you want to pay with, we don't mind. We want you to not have to pay the currency conversion fees. We want you to be able to pay in your currency. We will cover the cost of those exchange fees. Add it to basket. And if you want to, you can get 4, you can get 5. If you've got 2 sisters and they both love this Emerald Ocean color, get 6. Like, it doesn't matter. You can get, as long as you have at least 3, we don't care how many, it's any 3 or more. Choose any you like and then add them to your basket and you get 20% discount on those. So £6.80 per bracelet. Very, very, very good value. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. We are, no, not that one. There we go. We're all done. It did not take long. I think this is one of the shortest streams I've ever done, possibly. I've been doing streams for since COVID lockdown. We've been doing streams since then. And I think this might be one of my quickest ones, one of my fastest. That's why it's such a fun, simple, easy little technique. And you can really easily make these designs so quickly and they just come up looking fantastic. So anyway, if you want to go and get the kit, go and grab that off the website. I am intending to be back live again in 2 weeks' time. So not next week, but the Friday after. Same time, same place. It's always 3 p.m. on a Friday. We're going to have another new just pre-recorded one, like on YouTube coming next week as well. Lots of goodies in store over for the next couple of weeks, especially, dare I say it, this early in the year. Christmas is on its way. We've got plans coming for that too. So keep an eye out for all of those things. The best way to keep that eye out, though, is to sign up to the Bead Spider email newsletter. If you haven't done so, there's a link in the description if you want to go and do that. Of course, if you are on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Also, like this video. If you are on Facebook, give our page a like. That's always appreciated. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. As I said, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So if you're going to come back for more beading fun, I think in 2 weeks, it's going to be something a little bit more complicated. Just a little bit less. So that one, I think this was super easy, really, really easy. But we'll go for something maybe a fraction more challenging. Not too much, though. We try and keep it nice and easy around here so everybody can have a go. But anyway, thank you for joining me. See you soon and have a lovely weekend. Go watch some more Paralympics. Do your part. Let's support those people as well. Anyway, thanks very much, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.